Hi, I'm Tealish, and you're watching Coffee and Clix. Today we're going to be looking at Roll20 and going over a few things to prepare for the upcoming Highlander Games Roll20 Sealed event. That's coming up on June 29th, Saturday. But they will be opening product live on Wednesday, June 26th. And that product will be shipped to your home if you are registered for the event. So they'll open up your product live, they'll ship it to your home, and then you will play in the sealed event via Roll20. And that's why I'm doing this video, so that you can see how Roll20 is used for anybody that's unfamiliar with the program and how we play Heroclix online. So stay tuned and keep watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Coffee and Clix to keep yourself updated on all kinds of Heroclix content. All right, thank you very much. We are now recording a Roll20 tutorial. Welcome, everybody. The first thing you're going to definitely need in order to play Heroclix on Roll20, you will need a laptop or PC. You will not be able to do it from your phone or from an iPad. That will not work. You also need to be using, it works best on the Chrome browser, but if you take a look at what I'm sharing on my screen here, this is when you first type in roll20.net. You'll see this. You'll have to search for Coffee and Clix Highlander, whatever room. You'll actually have a link that you click on the day of the event. I'll post links that will bring you to the Roll20 website. But you do have to have an account. It's a free. You can have a free account in order to access it. You're going to find the room, which this room is called Coffee and Clix Highlander 1, and I'm going to click Launch Game. So you have to click on this link ahead of time. If you notice here on the right side, can everybody see where I'm hovering over and everybody's name is there? So it says 14 players, and there are different names. Everybody that I'm hovering over, it says GM. So if it says GM, then that means you are going to be able to move things around and do things once you click Launch Game. You have to be a GM in order to do things in Roll20. But let's just go into the actual app itself. So I'm going to hit Launch Game. And I'm assuming that once you hit Launch Game, you have been made a GM. So you've clicked the link. I've made you a GM, and you're going to see in the Roll20 room. Right away, it's going to ask if you want to join voice and video. So I'm going to X that out because I'm going to close that out because my video is being used from. So I'm not using video at all, and my voice I'm using from Discord. So you don't need to. So you should check that off. You should go into settings here. Can everybody see the screen that I'm sharing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go into settings here when you first go into Roll20, and you're going to want to go to audio and video here, and where it says others can hear or see, you want to check none. Where it says I can hear or see, you want to check none. Make sure those are both checked none. Then you go here to video display. And where it says player video / avatar size, you want to click names only. So when you do that, your names will be small like they are at the bottom of the screen here. You can see that there are 6 people in this room. Anthony, Bruno, Fabio, Diego, Marcio, Andrew, and Scott. Right, so all 6 of us are down at the bottom of the Roll20.
What I do is and it works just on the website. You don't have to download it as an app. If you go to Discord.com, So what I do is I do all my interactions on Discord through my computer, except for my voice channel. I do that on my phone. And as long as I don't click on one of the voice channels on Discord, it's fine. If I click on one of the voice channels on Discord, it starts fighting between my phone and my computer, and it doesn't work.
I'm going to make it sometimes just when you open it up, it's like zoomed in really close up. So I'm gonna make it smaller. I'm gonna make it like 40% and move it, scroll down a little bit so it's centered. Okay, I'm gonna turn off voice and video. I'm gonna close that. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna go into settings. I'm gonna make sure that you only have to do this once when you go in there. I'm gonna make sure that audio video is both set at none. My video display is names only. Then I'm going to go into this right here, which is, where is it? Macros, right? It's where it says collection here. So I'm going to go to collection and then I'll go to macros. And you can see where I have roll1d6 and roll2d6. I have them checked on. So in the bar, like if I turn it off, right? So now I have right here, I have a 1d6 macro and a 2d6 macro. So you want to do those. Yep, you can try it out. And also, if you like, I like this personally, but not everybody likes it. If you like to have 3D dice, go into dice options and check all of those. So now if you see when I roll my d6, it is three-dimensional dice. Okay. And the color of your dice are controlled by right next to your name here. You can control the color of your dice. So my dice are yellow, right? And you can toggle the colors however you like them. Okay. And you can roll 1d6. Yeah, there we go.
Bruno, where is your macros for the dice? Because I usually use on the left menu where the little dice link. That's the one I usually use. I don't have like a shortcut for that.
So if you just go into the collection here, my macros should be, these are all different macros, but just go down. Yeah, just go.
It just adds it on. It just adds it onto the bottom there. Yep.
Yeah, where it says in bar. Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. And I mean, if you don't, just so you know, if you don't want to use the macros, you type in \roll space, and then let's say I want to roll 5d6, right? Plus 4, plus 3 modifier, right? Plus 3, 5d6 plus 3. I enter that. Okay.
Well, actually, if you look at the left-hand menu along the left side, on the very bottom, you'll see the little dice picture. You can do it in there too.
You can do it that way too. Yeah, if you hit click on dice here, you can do it that way. There's lots of ways to roll dice.
Cool.
But that's
how do you turn on the 3D function for the 3D dice again?
So you go to settings and then dice options. And then you have to check all 3.
Nice.
I think it's fun because it makes it seem more like real, you know?
Yeah, I do too. I like it. Boom. There you go. Throw those out there.
Let's see. So once you have that, now I have a unique setup for Roll20. Not everybody has the same setup. But I have a journal here. If you go into the journal, we have maps, and we have...
Now the journal is the third link over from the left on the top upper right.
Yeah, right here where it says...
library journal.
Yes, yes. The top right is the third one over. It says journal. Yeah, the little book symbol. And here I have, now this is not going to be the same for every Roll20 server that you go into, but for my Roll20 server, I have Deadpool Weapon X assets loaded up, and I have maps. So you can open up those folders, right? And you can close them just the same way. So let's pretend that I want to change this map. So I'm going to, so this map well, okay, let's just pretend I'm going to put a map down. I'm going to choose a map. I'm going to go into maps. I'm going to go into 2x2 maps, modern legal maps, Deadpool Weapon X, right? And the actual maps that we're going to be using for the release day event are going to be Terra Verde and Monster Island. So
Those are the official release maps, everyone.
yeah, that's correct. And so let's say I don't like Monster Island, which is right here. Let's say I want to use Terra Verde. So anytime you pull anything out of the journal, you have to grab it by the name, not by the icon. So if I try to pull this by the icon, nothing's going to happen. But if I try to pull it by the name, now I pull it by the name, I'm just going to drag it right onto the screen. And now here we have a map. Put it over this one, right? Okay. You can move it around and stuff. So I'm gonna actually go to, now if you look at the bottom left of your screen, there are different layers. So you have token layer, GM layer, which we're not going to use, lighting layer, which we're not going to use, and then map layer. So I'm going to click on map layer, and I'm going to erase this old map. Okay. Then I'm going to go back to token layers. Okay. So now this map is on the token layer because everything that you drag onto the screen is automatically token layer. But I want to change it into a map layer. So I'm going to right click on it and click on layer and then go to map layer. And now I've changed this. Now I've set it to the map layer. So now I can try to move it or click on it. It won't click because I'm in the token layer. I'm not in the map layer. I'm on the token layer. So nothing I do will affect the map layer. So the map is just set there for good until I go to the. If I want to manipulate the map, I have to go to map layer. Then I can move it around, right, and delete it or whatever I need to do to it. But I want to make it centered. I'm going to go back to token layer. So now I've.
Hey Tony, real quick.
Yeah.
Can you show them how to turn the map in case they want to start on a certain side?
Sure. Okay, so I'm going to go back to map layer because I can't manipulate this unless I am on the map layer. So I'm going to go to map layer, and I'm going to if you notice here, there's a little light. Well, there's a couple ways of doing it. There's a little like line here that I can just go like this, right, and turn it, right, or what I can do is there's another way to do it too. If I can, oops. You can also right click and go to advanced and flip horizontal or flip vertical. You can do that. I wouldn't do the flipping because it might change the. It's kind of like mirroring. It might change the. Yeah.
Yeah, technically it could change the layout of the map.
It could change the layout of the map if you flip it. So I would actually do it the way I just showed you, where you actually you just grab this line here, and you actually just turn it. I'm having trouble grabbing it. It's a little hard to see. Oops. I don't know if I don't know if you could get it here.
Yeah, I think I can grab that. Hang on just 1 second. So that comes down to here. Then you'll see a little like blue spur that goes off one side, and that allows you to turn it any direction.
There you go.
You just kind of have to find that little blue point, and then you can turn the map. Now, I mean, obviously, you guys can play on any side you want, but sometimes for me visually, if I'm the player on the right side of my monitor, I kind of want my edge lined up right in front of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, all right, so let's say now we have our map. So I picked the map. It is the Terra Verde map. I'm going to make sure that even though this is in map layer, if you could see all the other tokens and stuff are faded, and I can't move them. You see, if I try to move it, it moves it moves something else. So I want to make sure I'm not in map layer when I'm playing the game. I want to make sure that I'm on token layer when I'm playing the game. So I'm going to go back to token layer. All right, so now we have my token layer, and you see we have some teams here just laid out, but those won't be laid out.
Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second, Tony.
Yeah.
Let me just ask: is as far as selecting the map and pulling that over and adjusting the map between map and token layer, is that is that clear for everyone? Did everybody understand that? I see several of you are muted, so just making sure.
Yeah, for me it's clear.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Good. Okay. So now let's say we have now you're playing the game. You're setting up the game. You've set up your map. You've rolled for map. So you rolled a 2d6. You decided on who picks map. Someone put a map down. Now you're going to get out of the maps folder. And just as a side note, I have these maps already created in a folder. But a lot of times, if you play on Roll20 elsewhere, you will have to get your own images for the maps and make them yourself. So you either you'll have to get them from a good site is HC Units or Clix Nexus. Those are both good sites where you can get images of maps. This map is from Clix Nexus, and also, I mean, HC Units, you can get the images directly from that website, and I mean, you'll be able to get them that way. But I have made it a little bit easy for everybody because all the images and stuff are loaded up here in the room. So one thing you want to do now is you're going to take out your team, right? So let's say you pulled on for the sealed event, you pulled a outlaw, right? Outlaw 021, okay? So if I want to drag that figure onto the map, it's the same way you drag the maps over here. You have to drag it by the name. You have to hover over the name and click and drag. You cannot hover over the icon and click and drag. That won't work. So hover over the name, you click it, you drag it onto the board, and right there, you see right here, now you have an outlaw. Okay? And what I just did there, by the way, was I clicked, if you click and hold, you can ping to show somebody something. Okay? So, yeah, you can do that. So, and also if you click on it and hit Z, you can zoom in on it. Like that. Okay? So there's my outlaw. That's part of my team. And I'm going to, everybody try this on outlaw. Try clicking outlaw. And then hold shift. And then double click outlaw while you're holding shift. And you should see stats pop up. Was everybody able to do that?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I do also suggest, because you see the combat values don't show up. So
Not that simple.
It'll give you the combat value. Yeah, the combat symbols don't show up. It's a little glitchy that way. So I do also suggest, if you're playing Roll20, even though you have the stats here, which will help you, that you build a team on HC Units. So like here is I'm gonna find outlaw and just add her. I'm gonna actually make this team I'm gonna make it like a 10,000 point team, right? Or 9,999 point team, right? That way I can just add anything I want to it. And I'm going to add outlaw, right? And now I can look at her stats. And if I'm playing against somebody, let's say somebody's playing White Fox, I can also add that, and now I can look at my opponent's figure on HC units. So I'm just make like a giant, this is my test team Roll20. I put Peeper up there as my picture because I like Peeper. Yeah, you just add anybody you want to it, right? And you can also shift double click to see her stats or see the character's stats here, and it will give you like the basics of how many clicks and like what's even if you hover over it in the stats, it'll show you like this is invulnerability, or this is like you hover over it, it'll say this is running shot, right? So now when you click on her, let's say you're playing her in the game, right? And she's on the token layer, so she'll go right over the map, and she should snap right in to the map squares, right? Okay. This one's doesn't look like it's centered perfectly, but I don't know why. But then if you click on her, let's say you click on her, and let's say she takes damage from an attack. Right, so let's say let me just look at her stats real quick. She has invulnerable. So let's say she takes 3 damage from an attack. So she has invulnerable, so she reduces by 2. She takes 1 damage past invulnerable, so she'll go to click 2, right? So if I want to show that Outlaw is on click 2, I will click on her and add to this red circle here. I'll hit 2 and then enter, right? And now if you look at her, if you click on her, you'll see that the red circle pops up with a 2 in it. And that shows that she is on click 2. Okay, this is just a common way of people playing on Roll20. They usually use the red circle to represent their click number. The green circle...
That's clearly, just to be clear, that's not the amount of damage that's been done. That's the actual click number they're on.
Correct. Yeah.
Cool.
And also, like a lot of people use the green circle and the blue circle just whenever they need to represent something. For example, like if you had a Hulk that gets rage tokens, right? Or actually, here's a good example. If you pull Chase. Which one is the one that gets tokens? Old Man Logan, right? Old Man Logan. So, Old Man Logan gets he gets these adamantium rage tokens, right? So,
yep.
So you could use the red circle to represent his click number. So let's say he's on click 4. And let's say he has 3 adamantium rage tokens. I'll put that in the green circle, right? So that shows how many tokens he has. You can use that. You can use either blue or green, whichever one you prefer when you're playing, right? How do we put action tokens on the figure? I'll show you how to do it. So let's say you have Outlaw here. You have those 3 circles. When I click on her, she has red, green, and blue at the top. You should also see at the bottom, you should see a settings cog and a button. So you're not really going to use the settings cog too much, but there are things that you could do with it. The button, I'm going to click on this button right now, and it'll bring up a menu. If you look at the menu, there are colors at the top. So the ones that I normally use are red and blue, but you can use whichever colors you like. So if I just click red, that's her first action token. If I click blue, now she has 2 action tokens. Does everyone see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then when you want to clear them, you just click on them again, and that clears them. You can also indicate if she's holding something. I like to use the wrench to indicate that she's holding an object. That's just something I like to do. Also, if you want to show that she's been KO'd, You put her here in the KO zone. You can also do things like put an X over her. Let's see if I can get that. Put an X over her. Like that. So you can use that for things too. Like I know in Constructed, people use the X for Wendigos to show that that somebody's got a wounded token. Like they use the X to show that they're wounded. You can just do different things with the symbols. And then yeah, for me to get out of that. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, so that's how you do action tokens. There is a line of fire tool also. So first of all, let me stop there. Does anybody have any questions?
Does anybody have any questions?
All tokens starting com health de 1, né? Deu pra entender?
Can you repeat that?
Um momento.
Márcio, se tiver dúvida, pode perguntar aqui, que a gente tenta ajudar.
Então, eu quero saber se todos os tokens começam com 1, tá ligado? E tipo, se todos os tokens começam com 1, todo mundo tá começando com clique 1. Talvez seja mais prático colocar todo mundo com 1, em vez de deixar com 0 e pular direto pro 2, entendeu? Porque se tiver com 1, você pode colocar mais 1 ou mais 2 de dano e aí calcular direto o dano no token.
Não, mas isso é a vida, é o clique que ela tá. E,
Isso.
tipo, no...
Entendeu o contexto do que eu tô falando?
Amigo, isso é padrão adotado pelo grupo. Aí não é bom mexer com isso não.
Tá bom. Ok.
It's all right here, Tony. Go on.
Okay. So
Questions? Okay.
all right, I'm gonna continue. So so basically, if I want to just mention once again though that these tokens are ones that I made. So normally tokens don't have these stats copied into them, right? Like they don't have stats here. But if you are playing another Roll20 game somewhere else, you can get your images from HC units directly. You just won't be able to have the stats. You won't have the stats in them. But you'll have the image, and you can just click and drag the image. Okay. So let's say I have Outlaw here, and I want to make a range attack on Old Man Logan.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
Tony, can I interject just one thing? Because you were talking about tokens and marking figures with tokens and things of that nature. Can I interject just one point? That
Sure.
one thing you were showing me yesterday?
Yeah.
So in regards to tokens and marking figures with tokens, guys, Tony showed me this trick yesterday. Let's say up here I have Jeff the Land Shark, right? And Jeff the Land Shark can, as a free action, give an adjacent friendly character that shares a keyword a pizza token. So let's say he gives Old Man Logan, if he can, a pizza token. One of the things you can do is if you click on a figure and it comes up with their little circles and everything, and then you right click on them, you can copy that figure and then you can paste that figure and make another one. And then I drag that over here to my sideline. And if you grab one of the corners, you can make it bigger there, right? Now, under the standard, over on the right menu under the journal, where you had your figures and maps, under game elements, you'll see your standard objects and everything. Tony made a pizza object, and I can drag the pizza object over, and I can put it on top of my big Old Man Logan token over here on the side. And then that's my reminder to me and my opponent that Old Man Logan currently has a pizza token.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's also, Tony, I don't remember how you did it last night, but there's also, I think it was, there's also a way where you can add a number on top of that larger picture image. How did you do that, Tony?
Okay, so like let's say I have Deadpool here, right? And Deadpool has an ability. At the beginning of your turn, you may roll a d6 and place it on this card, replacing any other dice on this card. Regeneration, when Deadpool uses it, if there is a d6 on this card, he may use the d6 as the result instead of rolling. So I'm going to do that. I'm at the beginning. It's my beginning of my turn. I'm going to roll a d6. So I'm in the dice roller. I'm in the chat function here, which is where all the dice rolls are. So I forgot to mention that all your dice rolls will appear in the chat here, right? So now I'm going to roll 1d6. Ooh, I got a good one. 5. Okay, so now I want to... So Scott has already copied Deadpool for me and made it bigger on the side here. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to actually go... Is everybody watching my screen share so you can see where to do this? I'm gonna go to that 5 that I rolled. You see where if I hover over the 5 in parentheses here, it shows like I can grab it. So I'm going to grab this 5 and actually drag it directly onto the screen. And now I have a 5 here, and I can just put it right there, right? And this is also a fun thing. Like, let's say if you're playing Constructed, you have, you can make this bigger. So like, let's say I'm playing Scott Porter with my 3 community tokens, right? So I want to change this 5 to a 3. I'm going to right-click on it, go to multi-sided, and then choose side. And I'm going to toggle it down to 3 and press choose. Now it's a 3.
Oh, that's cool.
And let's say now I use a community token. I can right-click on it again, hit multi-sided, choose one, and now I'll go down to 2. Now I have 2 community tokens.
So let's say I wanted to add rage tokens to my old man Logan over here. I could just grab a die number off to the side here. Then I right-click on it, multi-sided, choose sides. Let's say he has currently 4. So I can change that to whatever I need to and then put it on his card, and I have my rage tokens and my pizza token both represented.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like having an actual die on the table.
It also is really helpful for like like if I have oops, I used the wrong thing there, but let's say I'm carrying one of the tokens here with terrain token that he might have been carried. I can actually put that there too, so you can kind of use this off to the side completely, so you don't muck up the board with a bunch of symbols and stuff like that, and it's all clear to see on the side what somebody has.
Yes.
I like that a lot.
Just so you know, when you come into the Roll20 in the first place, like right now, like when you're going to play your games for the tournament, you're going to go up into this area called Page Toolbar, right? So if I click on Page Toolbar, you can see it drops down, and there are all kinds of tables here that you can play on, right? So you pick whichever one you want, right? So like this one defaults to Coffee Table 1, right? It'll actually start you here, but you don't want to be here, so this is not where you want to look at, right? You want to be in one of these tables. So here's Table 1. You can see where I'm sharing my screen. If I go to Table 2, it's already set up so that you have, like, if you could set up your game. If you want like a smaller table, you can go to one of the Battle Royale tables. You could even play there if you wanted to, because that's more for a 2x2 map. So you could play in one of these. These are the Battle Royale tables. But you have all these tables to choose from, like with different backgrounds to choose from. It looks like somebody was playing in this table. So yeah, I mean, I'll clear that out before I copy, because I'm going to copy this multiple times for the tournament. But yeah, you can pretty much choose wherever you want to go and play in that table, whatever backdrop you like. There are all sorts of backdrops that I have. Actually, Brad Broyles helped me make these backdrops a long time ago, so shout out to Brad Broyles for making these for me for my channel. All superheroes drinking coffee. So
Very cool.
Let's see. So yeah, okay, so going back to the game. Let's pretend I am. Let's see. So she's on click 2. Outlaw's on click 2. She got damaged. She has 8 speed with running shot. So she's back here. She's here, right? And I want to shoot Old Man Logan. I want to make a range. Sorry, shouldn't say shoot. I want to make a range attack, running shot. I want to use running shot on Old Man Logan. Okay, so I'm going to try to figure out what I can do. I'm strategizing. Now this is another thing that you can use. You see these little X markers. I'm going to plan my move out before I make it. So I'm going to see if I go here. If I running shot to there, so I'm going to use that X marker just as a planning to plan my move out. I'm going to say if I go there, and now I'm going to use the if everybody looks to the left where it says measure, that little ruler there that says measure. Okay, I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on snap to center. Okay, and from the place I want to make my attack, I'm going to see if I can draw line of fire to Old Man Logan. So I'm going to do that. Okay, you can see that it's 4 squares away, which is my range, and it is not crossing any blocking terrain. So that is a clear path line of fire. Right? So that will work. So now I've planned out my attack. So now I'm going to get out of the measure tool, because that's my line of fire tool. Keep in mind, when you do the measure tool, the line of fire, your opponent will see it. So just keep that in mind. If you're measuring line of fire, your opponent will probably see you measuring line of fire.
You are telegraphing.
Yes. I don't know a way of turning that off. Actually, I've tried clicking "Do not broadcast to others," but I think it still shows. So now I'm going to go back to the select tool so I can move my figure. I'm going to get rid of this, or I can even keep it there and just until I make my move. I'm going to running shot to here. I'm going to put a token on her showing that I made an action, and I'm going to do my running shot. So she has 11 attack. So I just shift double clicked so I can see her, so I can remember her stats. She has 11 attack, 3 damage. I'm going to shift double click my opponent's figure. He's on click 3. He has he's on click. Looks like he's on click 4. So because that's the red circle. He's on click 4. So he has a 17 defense with combat reflexes. So my 11 against his 17. I'm going to roll 2d6. I'm going to use the macro at the bottom of my screen. Roll 2d6. That is a 5. Of course it is. Of course it's a 5. Yep. So that is a miss, and there you go. So that's how you do. And then I'm gonna go and delete that. Try to delete that, or not delete it. I'll just move it back, and put her back where she was. She has an action token, so she made her action, and that's the end of my turn. All right. So that's kind of how it goes. You just have to drag it in place. Yeah.
I had a quick question. When you roll your dice, when they get clicked on, they disappear. If you roll dice and I click on your dice, does it disappear for both of us?
Well, did you click on your own?
Like, let's see. I rolled the 2 dice.
Let me try to click on
my
it.
dice.
Did it disappear for both of you? Did it disappear for you?
It did not.
So yeah, so I clicked on it. It disappeared on my screen.
Cool. Oh, that's good. So it still stays on mine.
Yeah.
Nice.
But that's also something I should mention, is that sometimes with the 3D dice, it will show, like, there's a glitch where sometimes, like, the dice get cocked on the screen, and so it'll show a different result than what's in the chat. And if that
Really?
only very, very rarely. And if that happens, if anything gets glitchy where it shows a different result than what's in the chat, always default to what's in the chat. So the chat overrides everything.
Makes sense.
So let's see.
So are you gonna let my old man Logan charge and kill her now?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, Outlaw. You know, she hasn't been practicing her aim recently, so yeah, now it's
okay. So she's on click 3 in vulnerability. So old man Logan, he does have charge on click 4, so I can charge 4. He's got blades. He's got exploit. I'm not sure what else he may have down here, but he's got the rage tokens at the beginning of your turn. Okay, I don't think that's really relevant. So he's going to go ahead and just charge. He can charge 4, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to make it there. To do that, he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4.
And keep in mind, you don't have to use, if you don't want to use those little target symbols, the X symbols, you don't have to use them. All right, so that's definitely going to be a hit.
That's going to be a hit. His blades,
ouch,
full on 6.
And it's exploit, right?
It's exploit.
Okay, so she is out. She's KO'd, so I'm going to move her to my KO area up here.
And then I would token him.
Token him, yeah. And if you're playing a BR...
This area...
I'm sorry?
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. If you're playing a BR or anything like that, where let's say you're respawning figures, so when she gets KO'd, you would just copy paste. You click on it, hit Control C, and then Control V, and you can copy paste the figure so that into like your opponent's KO zone, so that they know how many points they scored. Right.
So this is like, say, if this is my scored zone. So when she's KO'd, would you move her over to here so I know, what? Or I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter which KO zone you use. I would keep it in your own KO zone, because technically in the game, I believe there is such a thing as a KO zone, and that would be your KO zone. So because figures can also be generated, like I know the new Multiple Man can generate figures out of the KO zone. So it is an actual zone in the game. So you would generate. So when you have that KO zone, just at the end of the game, make sure before you report, make sure you tally up your points in the KO zone before you report your score. Make sure you both agree on what the score is before you report it.
Very much so. Well, and both, we're going to be, so the day of the event, Tony, right? Like everybody logs in an hour ahead of time, and that's where like procedures are going to be discussed with how you report your scores, how you call for judges, things like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be on the Discord at like 11 o'clock Eastern time, the day of the event on Saturday. Next Saturday. Yeah. Saturday the 29th, 11 o'clock Eastern time. And the tournament will actually start on 12 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay.
Are there any questions? Because I think we kind of went over everything. Did I miss anything, Scott? Or is there anything else that...
So, couple of particular things. Guys, these teams we put out, specifically we have Longshot on one side and Scarlet Witch on the other. If you click on, say everybody click on Scarlet Witch right now, you'll see that there is a menu that comes up on the upper left, add token blue, add token red. One of those options on that menu says Chaos Die. So if you are using an effect, you'll see Tony just read, he's rolling the Chaos Die there. And the same thing for Longshot. Longshot has his luck die. So if you have a figure that has one of the special dice and the game effect has come into need for that, like with Scarlet Witch, it's her probability control. So somebody would only roll a single die, and then they would roll her chaos die for the results. You would have like 3 and 6 with her chaos die type of thing. That's one of the special things with this set. I know the Land Shark, as we mentioned earlier, he creates the pizza tokens, which Tony has put into the standard objects menu. So I know those are a couple of particulars with this set.
Yeah, you can get maps. You can get all the tokens from all the assets from Deadpool Weapon X. Every figure is in there. The pizza tokens are in there under game elements. So something to note, it says heavy and light object, but really you only need light objects because there's no such thing as heavy and light objects anymore. It's just standard objects. But at the beginning of the sealed game, you'll be able to place 3 standard terrain objects at the beginning of the game. They could be blocking, it could be hindering, it could be water, or it could be just a regular standard object. So, and you get to place 3 of those at the beginning of the game.
Okay.
I'm sure Brian, who's judging the event, will go over that in more detail.
Tony, can you tell us, just so we're prepared for next Saturday, how does somebody call a judge?
Okay. So, if you go into the Discord, so I'll go over this stuff the day of the event. As far as like where to go for the Discord, that's what I'll do at 11 o'clock on Saturday. I will talk about where to go in the Discord. But in order to call a judge, you go into the Discord channel called Judge Questions. So can everybody see a tab that says Tournament? And then in that tab that says Tournament are all the channels for the tournament. And in that, one of those channels is called Judge Questions. So you go into that channel that says Judge Questions, and you type @judge. And that will ping Brian, and it will ping Scott.
Okay.
And me, I think. Does it ping me? I don't know. But I think it definitely pings Brian and Scott. So, and then, and I can change that if Scott, if you don't want it to ping you, if it just wanted to set it to Brian. Yeah, I just pinged him right now. But that's.
He's not even here. He just got pinged.
Wait, did I ping him or no? I didn't ping him because I didn't hit it. I didn't hit enter.
So you type @judge.
You just type @judge. Yeah.
Would you type like room number or something like that? Like game @judge, game room 3?
Yeah, something like that.
Gotcha. Makes sense.